Hiya and welcome to Back to the Future. Today we're doing ancient Greece. I don't know if you saw the previous video where I explained what I'll be doing, but I'll be going through some time periods in the literature, and I will just talk about my favourite books or plays from that period, and then we'll work our way back to the future. Today we're doing ancient Greece, and my favourite play from ancient Greece is Oedipus. Oedipus the King, or Oedipus Rex, whatever you want to call it, Sophocles' version of it. We have several different versions because it's an old myth, and many of the old tragedy writers wrote their plays based on these myths, so there are plenty of plays about Oedipus, but the most famous one is the one by Sophocles. The tragedies in ancient Greece was very important, and they were popular, and there were competitions dedicated to Dionysus, hope that's how you say his name here, who was the god of wine and theatre and everything that's lovable and wrong in the world. They had like competitions, the best tragedy plays would win prizes and honour, and a few years later the comedies would join in, but the comedies were a bit less cool. You know, it was a lot of farting and pooping and all that, and it was, you know, a bit lesser on the scale of what's good. Sophocles was one of three really cool, really big tragedy writers, Euripides and Aeschylus. God, I don't know how to say these names, it's so hard. His Oedipus was a huge hit, and is still a hit. Now, Oedipus' myth is mixed with reality, and Sophocles also mixed in parts of his own history. This Pericles, a king in ancient Greece, is sort of similar to Oedipus, not as a person or what he does, but in the ways of being the king and the ruler. Now, if you haven't read Oedipus and you haven't seen it and you don't want to be spoiled, it's better to just leave now and don't come back until you've read more, seen it, because I will spoil quite a lot here. For those of you who don't care, know it, or just, you know, really want to see me babble about it, please stay. It's a really well-known myth and a story. Oedipus, the man who kills his own father and marries his own mother. The whole play is based on the whole destiny. Can you fulfill destiny? Is destiny pre-fulfilled? Oedipus' parents, who is king and queen, got this prophecy from an oracle that their son would kill his father and marry his mother. So to get an old farmer to kill their son and dump his body. The problem is the farmer can't do it, so he gives the kid away. He doesn't know about this prophecy, so he has no idea what he's doing. So when this kid, Oedipus, grows up, he gets the same prophecy, but he doesn't know that he's adopted. So he runs away from home in order not to kill his father and marry his mother. On the way, on a crossroad, he kills a man who happens to be his father, and also the king, and then he goes to the town where he was king and marries his mother as the prize, though he doesn't know it's his mother, and they get kids and they live happily ever after. And suddenly there's a huge plague coming into town. In the end they do find out that plague came as a punishment from the gods because he married his mother. When Oedipus finds out, he's obviously distraught. His mother kills herself, and Oedipus scratches his eyes out because he was blind, but now that he can see, he can no longer live with what he has done, sort of thing. It's a bit like Amazing Grace, isn't it? I was blind, but now I see. This is a play based very much on fate and destiny. It's like destiny against free will. It's justice against injustice. Is Oedipus innocent in all of this? Who's the guilty part? That is what we are stuck with when we talk about it. We often talk about Oedipus as this really weird character who marries his own mother, as if he knew it. Freud talked about the Oedipus complex, where young boys are sexually attracted to their mothers. The problem is Oedipus didn't know it was his mother. He has no idea. He runs away from home to not kill his father and marry his mother. But the problem is, the first thing he does is to murder a man by a crossroad. It's a bit dramatic there, it's a bit symbolic, that. So he can't be that innocent, because he does murder a man just because the man is a bit rude to him. It has to be said, the king was rude to Oedipus. The whole play is so much about destiny, and can you decide your own destiny? There's so many layers of fine-tuning here, And free will is a really important part. It's a really important part in a lot of Greek tragedies. Can you yourself decide your own destiny, and do you have the free will to do so? Oedipus tries to break free of his destiny by choosing by his own free will to leave his parents, but it turns out that's what leads him into destiny in the first place. I found these plays, they are over the top and they are weird, but they're so exciting, and the thought of the Greeks, the ancient Greeks, having these summer festivals dedicated to wine and theatre, for me that is really amazing. I want those festivals. If you are a bit unsure what a tragedy is, according to the ancient Greeks, you can read up on Aristotle's Poetics, which explains this very well. But a tragedy is basically a play where the state goes from happy to unhappy. The curve is just like, there's always a tragic hero who's noble. You want to recognize and you want to cheer on. You want to love him, and you sort of do because of the feelings that he portrays. And he's such a noble man. And Oedipus is supposed to be this noble tragic hero, even though I don't find him noble at all. I find him a bit weird. That is just because I'm a modern woman and I don't have the same criteria as noble and hero as maybe the ancient Greeks had. Because there's some sort of myths, you sort of know this story, but there's certain shifts in the plays leads to the catharsis, which is like purification of the body, sort of. You just feel free. That is why, you know, when people say, oh, I had a good cry, it was really good, after a movie, the goal there is that you were led to a catharsis, a cleansing of your body and soul. And that was the main goal with the tragedies, really. You also had a choir who was narrating the story for the audience. They would break this fourth wall and talk to the audience and tell them, that dude, he doesn't know what's coming now, but it's really bad. And they were sort of on team with the audience, and they all wore masks, which is, you might have seen the old tragedy comedy masks, but in Greece they had masks. Some were really grotesque, some really pretty, all just to symbolise the character. It was a lot of stock characters. Oedipus Rex was first performed, as far as I can tell, 429 BC. So if you haven't read Oedipus, I do encourage you to do so. You can also watch it, and there's a lot of literature and history that is based upon Oedipus. Not just Oedipus, but also Greek tragedy. If you never read Greek tragedy, if you haven't read Greek comedy, if you think it's a bit weird, you're like, oh, I've read the Odyssey, but that's it, basically. Read some of the plays, because they are really, really good. If you like this, give me a thumbs up, comment and subscribe. If you have anything to say, please write it down below. Next time we will be going through the Middle Ages. All that's left to do is to say goodbye, my friends, and I'll see you soon. Goodbye.